Hello and welcome. Thank you so much for being with me today. My name is Jennifer Carr. My pronouns are she and her. I'm the very proud president of the Professional Institute of the Public Service of Canada. Bonjour et bienvenue. Merci beaucoup d'être ici aujourd'hui. Je m'appelle Jennifer Carr. Je suis la fière présidente de l'Institut de la fonction publique du Canada. Mes pronoms sont elle et la. I want to start by acknowledging that our office, where we are today, stands on the unceded, unsurrendered traditional territory of the Anishinaabe Algonquin people, and to say that PIPS recognizes the role that the labor movement has in reconciliation. Today is the first day of National Public Service Week, a time meant to recognize and value the services rendered by the federal public service. Unfortunately, many public servants are not feeling especially valued right now. 3 years ago, our members scrambled to set up remote workstations in their homes while also navigating personal and global impacts of the deadly pandemic. Without missing a beat, we created a steady rollout of the CERB benefit, created mass testing methods, developed life-saving vaccines, and managed risky outbreaks. We rose to this challenge like we rise to every challenge because we're proud public service professionals, and that's what we do. On National Public Service Week and every week. In December of last year, these hardworking employees, our members, were abruptly ordered back to the office by an employer who had previously made commitments to continue consulting with unions and implementing tailored plans for each department. It's been 6 months since then. So the Institute surveyed our members, more than 72,000 of them, to learn the impacts of this hastily implemented policy and what it is having on public service employees, the services they deliver, and to the Canadians that they serve. What we learned was sobering. Productivity is down, workers are dissatisfied, and most meetings are still virtual. 6 mois se sont allongés depuis l'Institut, donc interrogué ses plus de 72 000 membres. Nous souhaitions connaître l'impact de cette politique implantée à la haute sur les fonctionnaires, les services qu'ils donnent et la population canadienne qui y desservent. Les résultats font réfléchir. La productivité est en baisse. Les fonctionnaires sont insatisfaits et la plupart des réunions sont encore virtuelles. That's right. Despite being ordered back to the office, our members told us that 80% of their meetings are still happening virtually. They have been ordered into an office, often a different office or workstation every week, to be part of a Teams or Zoom call. A call that they could have done just as easily from home, where their Wi-Fi is likely more stable. C'est vrai. Bien qu'aient reçu l'ordre de retourner au bureau, nos membres nous a dit que 80% de leurs réunions sont déroulées encore en virtuellement. Ils ont été convaincus dans un bureau, souvent un bureau ou un poste de travail différent chaque semaine pour participer à un appel Zoom ou Teams. Cet appel, il sera aussi bien peut le passer sur leur domicile où leur connexion Wi-Fi est probablement plus stable. And contrary to Treasury Board's rationale behind the order, positive outcomes are hard to identify. 61% of respondents say productivity has gotten worse, and most respondents say the impact on collaboration is neutral at best. One key issue is that in spite of having been issued the Return to Office Directive, the majority of federal employers no longer have dedicated offices to return to. In fact, 65% of our respondents are sharing workstations. Many of our members are bouncing between various federal government co-working locations. And when they get to these co-working spaces, they're wasting time every day setting up and taking down makeshift workstations. Et contrairement à la raison invoquée par le Conseil trésor pour justifier cette décision, il est difficile à trouver des conséquences positives. 66% de personnes interrogées ont déclaré que la productivité s'était détériorée et la plupart d'entre elles estiment que l'impact sur la collaboration est en mieux neutre. Un des principaux problèmes, c'est que depuis le directif de majorité de fonctionnaires n'ont pas au bureau atterri ou retourné. En fait, 60% de personnes interrogées partagent encore leur poste de travail. Beaucoup de nos membres passent un espace de travail partagé à l'autre au gouvernement fédéral. Et dans ces espaces partagés, les employeurs perdent chaque jour le temps précieux pour installer et démontrer leur équipement. This clearly demonstrates a lack of planning on the part of the employer. The sacrifices of presence with purpose is a principle that we have been calling for all along. Unsurprising, 70% of survey respondents reported being dissatisfied with how the return to office policies were implemented, citing issues like commuting times and costs, work-life balance, and environmental impacts as top concerns. Cela démontre clairement manque de planification à la part de l'employeur, y compris la présence justifiée, un principal que nous réclamons depuis toujours. Sans surprise, 70 des personnes interrogées se sont déclarées insatisfaites de la manière dont la politique de retour au bureau a été mise à l'œuvre, citant comme principale préoccupation des questions telles que la durée et le coût de trajet domicile-travail, l'équilibre de vie personnelle et vie privée et les répercussions sur l'environnement. And they get to these co-working spaces and they're wasting time every day setting up, taking down these makeshift workstations. Given that the unbreathable air that we've been dealing with over these past few weeks, it seems extra unthinkable that this government is not taking the environmental impacts of a return to office policy more seriously. Our members have proven that they can and will continue to be productive and engaged no matter where they work from. Public service professionals have gone above and beyond to deliver quality services to Canadians. Is this how the government thanks them for their commitment and their hard work? This one-size-fits-all return to office policy clearly isn't working for anyone. If the federal government truly values its public service employees, it's time to show it. With a modern workplace that includes flexible work arrangements, properly equipped workspaces, and high priority on health and safety. Les 3 dernières années, les membres ont prouvé leur capacité d'être productifs et engagés, quelle que soit leur lutte de travail. Les professionnels de fonction publique se sont surpassés pour offrir des services de qualité à la population canadienne. Est-ce que ainsi que le gouvernement les remercie pour leur engagement et leur travail acharné? If the federal government truly wants to celebrate and show appreciation for public service workers this week, they could start by offering a more flexible approach to telework and hybrid work. Cette politique de retour au bureau universel ne fonctionne manifeste pour personne. Si le gouvernement fédéral accorde une relais valeur à ses fonctionnaires, il est temps qu'il le montre en mettant en place un lieu de travail moderne qui offre les modèles flexibles, les espaces correctement équipés et qui accorde une grande importance sur la santé et la sécurité. Not only would this improve employee morale and productivity, it would offer the government a rare chance to achieve their other goals, including reducing greenhouse gas emissions, converting office spaces to much more needed affordable housing, flexibility for workers dealing with care duties at home, economic growth in remote areas by expanding the public service outside the national capital region, recruitment and retention of top talent, and significantly reducing its operating costs and saving taxpayers money. So that's my statements. I will take questions. Oui, vas-y.
C'est quoi votre réaction par rapport aux résultats du sondage? Est-ce que c'est un peu comme une confirmation de ce que vous disiez depuis?
Oui, c'est une confirmation parce qu'on a eu des plans, les emails et des courriels, mais on n'avait pas fait un sondage. Donc, avec l'Institut, on est très fiers d'avoir les chiffres, les sondages qui supportent nos positions. Donc, oui.
Et maintenant que vous avez ces chiffres-là, c'est quoi les prochaines étapes? Est-ce que vous avez l'intention d'intensifier la pression sur le gouvernement?
Ben, à chaque fois, j'ai le même commentaire pour le Conseil trésorier, c'est qu'il a besoin de venir à la table avec nous pour régler ce problème, parce que ça ne marche pas pour personne. Mais on n'est pas à la table avec le Conseil trésorier, il laisse tomber tous les départements et les programmes ne sont pas fixes, ne sont pas équitables, ça dépend où tu travailles, à qui tu travailles pour. Donc, c'est pas juste pour tous les fonctionnaires.
Et la solution pour vous, c'est plus de flexibilité, c'est permettre aux fonctionnaires de travailler plus à domicile?
Ben, pour nous, nos travailleurs sont engagés pour les produits qu'ils produisent. Ça veut dire que c'est pas devant quelqu'un, la clientèle, ils ont fait des rapports, des politiques. Donc, ils peuvent faire ce travail n'importe où. Donc, on a besoin d'avoir un espace pour travailler le plus flexible, pour engager les gens qui ont les top talents, les plus bright, les plus, c'est quoi le mot que je cherche? Intelligent, le plus intelligent, le plus fier, le mieux de le monde pour la fonction publique.
Et dans les fonctionnaires que vous représentez, est-ce que vous ressentez une frustration? Par exemple, vous avez dit qu'ils se rendent au bureau, mais pour faire des rencontres en virtuel ou des embouteillages,
Oui.
frustration?
Oui, c'est beaucoup de frustration parce que pour aller au travail, pour faire exactement la même chose que tu peux faire chez toi, dans un environnement où il y a beaucoup de monde qui est autour de toi, qui fait aussi des réunions virtuelles, c'est brûlant, c'est frustrant. Et comme je dis, le Wi-Fi, il n'est pas stable dans beaucoup des édifices, donc ils ont de mal à connecter comme chez eux. Merci.
What would the ideal work situation look like for members?
For us, again, we believe in presence with purpose. That means that, the government would take a hard look at all of the work that's being done by our professionals, determine where it's best done. We represent healthcare workers, of course, that needs to be done in person, but the majority of our workers are knowledge workers. Again, they produce the work, the politics, the studies, the briefing notes that go behind some of the decision making, and that can be done anywhere. So it's very frustrating to be told that you're hired for the work that you produce, and then it's more important where you produce it from. When we see our professionals, talking about reduced productivity, that really makes them upset. They want to do the best work that they can in the best environment that they can, and this is why they are speaking out.
At the beginning of this process, many months ago now, there was some discussion, not a lot of discussion, but some around potential disciplinary measures for folks who don't come to work. How's there come to the physical workplace? Has there been any examples of that of your members that you're aware of?
I don't know of any offhand. I don't think that was part of our survey, so I can't comment on that.
The other question that I have, and maybe this was already answered, but obviously we just got off a very large strike by PIPSC, where there was some movement on return to office. How closely did you follow that process, and is there a similar process being discussed here at this?
So again, we did follow the strike from the Alliance. I think for our workers, again, presence with purpose is what we're looking for. There is a marked difference between PSAC employees and our workers. Again, we're mostly engineers, scientists, auditors, computer specialists. We can do our work from pretty much anywhere. We're not paid for being in front of clients or pressing a lever or anything like that. So it becomes very frustrating when the message that's being received by our public service professionals, it's more important where you sit than the work that you produce. And that's why I think most of them are frustrated about the reduced in productivity, because again, a public service professional wants to do their work, and it's frustrating when they can't.
Okay, do we have any questions from folks on Zoom?
Yes. I have a question from Catherine Morrison.
Do you want to unmute
Oh,
her?
somebody waved their hands. The lights went out. That's what happens when you have an environmentally friendly building.
Just have to press the button, Shelley, at the door.
Or wave your hands.
Okay, go ahead, Candace. Perfect. Go ahead, Catherine.
Hi there, thanks so much for your time this morning. You mentioned that 61% of respondents said productivity has gotten worse. I wonder if you can share any examples of how productivity has decreased and how having flexible work options might address this issue.
Yeah, so thank you for the question. So productivity is down in many ways. So we've had lots of reports where, again, people are not at their own workspaces, so they have to carry all their equipment, bring it in, set it up, and tear it down at the end of the day. But more importantly, the walls and the quiet areas don't exist. So if you are having meetings remotely, what happens is that there are, maybe 12 colleagues around you having exactly the same remote meetings. So it gets very noisy and very loud. The other thing is that, like I said, in many of our buildings, the buildings weren't equipped for that many virtual meetings happening at once. So Wi-Fi is quite unstable. And then there was one was reported to me that they were having their meeting and they couldn't participate because the staff in behind were vacuuming. So not very pleasant to be trying to be professional and not having control of their workspace.
Thank you.
Do we have any other questions online? In the room? No? Thank you. Well, thanks everybody. This concludes the press conference.
So I just want to make one more comment, and that's that. So we're going to have two follow-up press releases that are going to happen throughout the week, where we're going to talk about, we're going to dig into the recruitment and retention issues, which are going to be very serious for the government, as well as for inequities for equity-seeking groups, including people with disabilities and caregivers. So we will have those out later on this week. Thank you.
Thanks, everyone. Thank you.
You're welcome. Jordan got a flight leave.
Yeah, done all the work.